about your career and the process you went through to get where you are?
Thank you very much, Sister Cynthia. It's an honor to be here this afternoon, sitting with these wonderful people of God, male and females of different careers and ethnicity. I won't take this for granted. The opportunity to sit before you all and share my experience with you. I just pray God that it be a motivation for someone and also an impartation on somebody's life. First and foremost, I give glory to God, to the Most High God, and also to my parents. I started my education very early. I don't know how many of you started school at the age of 3.5 or 4. I know some people do. Those were the days when you have to do this in order to get into school. But I thank God for the early education in my life and double promotion and all that. But I can tell you clear that when I started my life, it wasn't what I wanted. It was what my parents wanted. Being born in an elite family, a very political stronghold in Nigeria, most especially Lagos State, I just have to do what my parents want. So, I mean, throughout my school life, it's not like I wanted to be an accountant, but this is what my father wanted. Why? Because he's okay, he's whether you want to call it wealthy or whatever, and he's into politics. So all he cares about is somebody who is going to manage his empire. That's what he cares about. So everything in the house is about, you know, you have to be an accountant, you have to manage these funds, you have to run my businesses and this and that. So I started managing my father's business at the age of 14. So while I was going to school, you know, I will do stuff, I will oversee his construction business and all the contract for the government. And to God be the glory, it got to a point in his life, he was an ambassador. After that, he became an ambassador overseas. That's what took me across the globe. I can tell you guys strongly that I've been to over 50 countries in the world, not because I want to, but because I'm always going around where my father is. I'm the type of guy that will go to school Monday to Friday in Nigeria and be in France on Friday night and be in Germany on Saturday, something like that. So I go overseas on the Friday and come back to school on Monday morning. That's the kind of life that I lead. It's very interesting, it's very flamboyant, and it's very, very encouraging as well. Will I do that these days? I don't think so. I think I've had enough of that and I love it. But, you know, my upbringing was very, very strong, very traditional, and moral and discipline was something that is very, very important in my family. We grew up very big family, of course. I'm not afraid to say at one point in time my dad was a polygamist, which I'm absolutely against. But that's what it is. It is what it is. So I was able to go through my school life, and after satisfying my parents by becoming an accountant, just to manage his empire, then I said to my father, at that time while I was managing his empire, I had my own business in fashion industry. He allowed me to do that. So if you please me, you can do whatever you want. So that was the deal. So I pleased him, and I did whatever I want. So I had my own business going, and I decided to pursue another career. So it got to a point that my dad got sent to Spain in expanding Madrid. So I was out of school at that time. I finished my first bachelor degree, and I wanted to stay with him in Spain. I went to Spain. I did computer technology, which I don't even include in my resume. So I learned, language was supposed to be learned in about a year plus, but I was able to do it in 6 months. Not because I'm extraordinarily smart, but because of I attend classes, and at the same time, as an son of an ambassador, my dad does have a tutor at home. So I learn at school, and I learn at home. So I cut the time by half, so I was able to make my Spanish class in 6 months. Then I moved into University of Madrid to do computer technology. So that's one degree on the other side. So I left it there, went back and forth to Nigeria, and after that again, I relocated with him to Canada, and I went to University of British Columbia, where I did business management, and got my degree in business management, and back and forth to Nigeria, I travel like no man's land. But the most important thing about this discussion is that it's what you want out of life, according to what Dr. Lillian spoke to us about today. It's what you want out of life. First and foremost, my first reality, my first responsibility is to please my parents. And I know when I please them, I'll have my way, then I can do me. And true enough, yes, I have my way, and I was able to do me. So that's when I started what I wanted. Father, being a politician, a very powerful person, an ambassador, is somebody in my life that I can say politicians are corrupt. But if somebody tells me my dad is corrupt, I'll tell you no, because I know he wasn't. Why? Because he was from a royal family, he was wealthy. There was a lot of money left for him before he even started his life. So he had no reason to steal any money. So he was very strict, he was very diplomatic, and he's very honest. He will fight you in the street for corruption. So he's known for that. And for that reason, he was able to accelerate to get to where he wants to get to in life. So I was almost like born into politics because I follow his footsteps and do things with them and go about. So when I see what happened in Nigeria with politics, with corruption, that's what actually led me into law. Because if you look at the meaning of my last name, Adekoya simply means avenger, advocate. So that kind of dawned on me that no, since my father stands for this cause, I will leave that part. My father can give all he had for anyone that's in trouble, most especially if you're innocent. That's the kind of man he is. So I said, but I will do it smartly. I will not do that without a legal background, because you're right, traditionally, could be very, very wrong legally. So that's one edge that I have above my father. And I practice law in the United States. I went to the University of Arizona, practiced law in the United States for about 15, 16 years now, getting sick and tired of it. Immigration, criminal law, civil litigation. But with all these practice and experiences, I did not leave my fashion industry alone because it's my passion. So I continue to follow the fashion and entertainment industry. Entertainment is not something I just woke up and dive into. I got involved with entertainment industry simply because I represent brands. I represent foreign artists from different countries. So I know so much that I feel I can now manage a talent. I can get to them to where they need to get to. So that's how I got into that industry while I was still practicing as a professional. How do I juggle all these things together? Was it easy? No, it's not easy. I could tell everyone something. Last night we were all here together until about maybe 9, 10 o'clock at night. But I haven't slept for 2 hours. Can anybody tell? No. Because this morning, I was at another place in New York where they're having a fashion show and my line is on display as I speak. So someone is there representing me. I was there before. I was there before 7 o'clock this morning. I come all the way from there just to attend this important function to me. So, building your brand, multitasking, changing career path is whatever goal you set for yourself. Most of the things that Dr. Lily spoke about today, I agreed, with the exception of one. And what is that one is? Do not allow what your neighbors say to impact your ability for progress. Don't let that happen. To impact your ability for progress, don't let that happen. But guess what? Be very attentive. Listen, pick what belongs to you, and leave the one that is not of you. Because if you have to listen to someone because they say, I talk too much, now I'm going to cut down on my talking. Trust me, that could be your talent. You could have been an orator. That probably would have landed you where you want to be. But because Mr. B said I speak too much, so I'm backing out of that. You just have to be smart. Know when it's time to speak. Know when it's time to. And know what to do and what not to do. Of course, advice is No advice is wasted. It could be valuable today. It might not be valuable for the next 10 years. But guess what? You're archiving it. Because by the time you're going to reach out for it, it's at your fingertips. You remember those things. I went through all the things that Dr. Lee was talking about today. I said, wow, that's how fast time goes. It recalls a lot of things that I have done in my past just to get me to where I am today. These days, when somebody asks me about myself, I'm even embarrassed to tell you I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. You know what I do? I just send it to my website. Maybe that says it all, so that I don't have to explain myself.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for explaining. How do you feel